Welcome, 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 welcome. Since it is impossible to articulate or describe the self, yourself, consciousness, and it is impossible because it's not a thing. Everything is discovered to be what you are not. So, since you cannot describe what you are, what you can do is notice what you are not. And that is the objects that appear as the result of perception. This is the dream world of the mind-body organism, which perceives in time based on cause and effect, which occurs over time. While the self, yourself, has always only ever existed now, with no remnant of a past. You cannot feel a past and the feeling of now. You feel now, where all life lives. But breaking the addiction can be greatly supported by recognizing what you have been hypnotized into believing, but in fact is just imagination. And that is everything perceived. Every object of appearance, as it arises, it is very helpful to recognize I am not defined by this. I am aware of the body, so I am not defined by the body. I am aware of thought, so I am not defined by thought. I am aware of sound, so I am not defined by sound. I am aware of sensation, so I am not defined by sensation. This is a stripping away of an addictive habit in the recognition of what you are not, because you cannot describe what you are. You feel it as the eternal presence in which there is no object, there is no individual. And if you search for the individual, you realize it's a mirage. Because when you dive directly into anything, what is discovered is that which cannot be described. And you get there by recognizing what you are not. So this is not about the teacher. It's not about the teachings. It's not about content. It's not about time. And most importantly, it is not about an individual. These are the objects that appear in conscious awareness. And the habit of addiction is to get glued to apparent phenomena in the form of perceptive objects. So every time there is a relationship with the appearance of an object, you recognize, I am aware of this, so I am not defined by it. I am aware of the words that are being spoken, so I am not defined by them. So you strip away moment to moment to moment everything that you are not defined by. And then you feel what remains, what is not appearance, what is alive, what is everywhere, what is not in time, what is the essence of your very existence. The thing about existence, I say your existence, but the your is a concept. You are nothing more than a concept. With realizing you are not defined by a concept, then it is simply to feel what remains, what remains. And every single time perceptive objects appear, the addiction is broken by simply recognizing not this. I am aware of this, not defined by it. So this has nothing to do with me, and it has nothing to do with you. The you and the me are just concepts. Who am I without identifying with any concept? Who are you without identifying with any concept? What you can say is you are aware. You cannot describe consciousness, but you can recognize you are aware of all of the objects that arise and disappear. And if you do not become addicted to the story of the objects that appear, they disappear as soon as they arise, just like smoke. And then you are left with yourself. You are left living life, which is always living itself right now. Then you are left with the beauty that is not a person, it's not a place, it's not a thing. It's life, true life. And the thing of true life is it is one, it is unified. It is the unity of all life as it is. And you can realize this is real because it is what is now. There is no cause and effect in now. There is no time in now. There is no orientation or location in now. You cannot describe it, but you can feel it. And you can realize that out of this feeling arises awareness. that you are the awareness that is aware of these words. You are the awareness that is aware of sensations. You are the awareness that is aware of emotions. You do not need to reject emotions and sensations. They are only appearance that are appearing to a character that can never be found. You systematically recognize that you are not defined by that with which you are aware of. When this awareness is oriented towards the mind body, it realizes the mind body is just a mechanical contraption, a cause effect machine that the mind automatically responds to. There is the stimulus, which is the external, and the response, which is the mind. But it's all repetitive, it's all recycled, it's all the same thing wearing new clothing over and over and over again. And this is what the interpretive mind sees as the problem. It is no problem, it must repeat itself until there is realization of what is happening. Not experience of what is happening. Experience is not in the moment. Experience is change over time. Experience happens to the character that the mind defines as me. But what is recognized is that you are aware of that character. You are aware of linear time. But what is aware of linear time is timeless. What is aware of form is formless. When this is felt, it is recognized to be the only thing that is not away from me. It is not away from. There is no distance in it. Because there is no distance, there is no time. You are aware of all of it. When the awareness is placed on the mind body, it sees the mechanical nature. It sees the myth. When awareness is aware of itself, then there is the taste. When awareness is resting in itself, then there is the taste. When awareness is yielding to itself, then there is the taste. It is not a taste that can be described because all description is in the arena of perceptive objects. But something does not disappear. When awareness truly becomes aware of its own nature, this is permanent. It is very different than the mind-body mechanism experiencing an opening. Opening happens in time. Someone is aware of it. It is happening to the character, even if the character is in the background. But when awareness realizes that it has been asleep and it begins to wake up to its own nature, this has nothing to do with a person. It has nothing to do with location. It has nothing to do with me, and it has nothing to do with you. It cannot be described, but it's felt, and it's felt as yourself. It is not away from me. It is not an object I am aware of. It's when the awareness that I am becomes aware of its nature. And this occurs now. And now is eternal. It's unchanging. When awareness becomes aware of itself, there is the taste of love and presence and peace and joy. What is recognized is that you have forgotten your nature, but you are beginning to wake up. When I say you, I am not referring to character, I'm not referring to objects, I'm not referring to people. I'm referring to that which is aware of all of it. And then the awareness can come to rest in its centerless, infinite nature. It is inside of everything. It is outside of everything. It is everything, except it is not a thing. It is aware of things. But when you feel into what is it that is aware of things, the mind calls it nothing because the mind registers things as objects of appearance. When the objects of appearance unravel, the mind calls this nothing. But what is discovered is it is everything. It is all there is. It is the infinite nature of what is greater than the entire cosmos. And as you deepen into yourself, you feel the infinite nature that is beyond the entire cosmos. And you begin to be a participant in true life, which is not lived in a fantasy of time that is occurring to the mind-body program. It is the eternal nature of the heart of being. It can be called endless things, can be called the self, can be called the silence, can be called unity, consciousness, can be called God. But anything that is spoken is an object. And this is about recognizing what you are not because you are hypnotized into believing that you are a perceptive object. But you are, in truth, aware. You're aware of all of the objects of perception. If you remain in yourself as the awareness that is aware of objects, then there is no confusion. There is no mind, there is no issue, there is no problem, there is nothing to improve. The conditioned mind does this brainwashing. It says, I am this mind body, I am trying so hard to awaken. But from the mind body perspective, it always falls short. There is always a sense of falling short. And this has very strong tendency to draw attention. But you simply notice this is all repetitive, it's all mechanical, it's all objects that are at a distance from me, and you are aware of it, and the awareness is at no distance. It is in no location. It cannot be described, but it is alive. It's alive. It's eternally alive. And the more the attention falls back into the awareness that you are, the more alive it becomes. Eventually, there is this background foreground shift where the taste of what is unmoving shifts from the background into the foreground. When this occurs, the experience of doing and choosing, the experience of location, all evaporate because they are imagined, phenomenal appearances. It's a hypnosis that you have come into the earth realm to unravel. And the unraveling, the potential of the unraveling is this moment, because the mirage is fed by the attention it is given, and it is programmed to draw all the attention. So it requires this constant vigilance, noticing the appearance of all objects as they appear, and realizing I am not defined by any object. I am aware. I am awareness. I am awareness that can finally wake up, come to rest in its nature. And then all of a sudden, the light bulb goes on, and the light of awareness is felt. Reality is felt. It cannot be challenged because it's not a thought, it's not an object. It is your own nature. You access your nature through negating what you are not, through releasing what simply appears, by remaining still in the silence that is your nature. The thing about this silence is that it grows. It's not that consciousness actually changes, it doesn't change, but it begins remembering its nature more and more vividly as the amnesia continues to wear away. And every time the habit of an object that has been habitually grabbed onto is let go of, the alignment with your nature, the alignment with your nature accelerates. When this work is taken to heart, it's never about what anyone said or did. It's never about what I said or did. It's about the recognition that these are objects appearing in consciousness that are pre programmed and are programmed to draw attention. But when you remain still, then you realize your nature. Then you realize the beauty of your nature, then you realize we are all one. We are all one consciousness. And it is just to feel the consciousness that you are, not to be involved with emotion, sensation, perception. It's not controlling them, changing them, fixing them. It is simply not getting involved with something that is a mirage, an appearance, a simple stimulus response mechanism that is pre programmed, that you have come here to unravel out of the kindness of the heart. This is what satsang is about. It's not about Devaji. It's not about whatever label you have labeled yourself. It's not about labels, but what is aware of all the labels, what witnesses the labels arise and disappear, appear and disappear, arise and dissolve. But it's all happening in the vast infinite space of the awareness that you are, which never ever moves, never changes, yet the vibration of it becomes more and more alive the more you come to rest in your nature. And this increase in aliveness is infinite. And this is why there is this background foreground shift. For most, they feel the awareness that they are, but it sits in the background. So the character and the character's behaviors are still experienced as me, but it's a phantom. There must be an intensification of orientation, watching all phenomena arise as it does, and realizing beyond a shadow of a doubt that you are not defined by an object of appearance that comes into expression based on a conditioned program. And the conditioned program lives in the past, but there is no past. There is no past. How can there be a past? It's all imagination. It is to be aware of imagination, to realize that all objects that appear, I am simply aware of, and to rest in your nature, to rest in your nature that is alive right now. It could not be more simple, and yet it requires everything. What is the everything that it requires? The readiness to say goodbye. To say goodbye to what? The relationship of everything perceived, not the perception, the relationship with perception. For when you are not in relationship with perception, perception disappears because it's only an appearance, only an appearance. So Join with me now. When I say join with me, I am not talking about joining with Devaji. This is appearing, but from where is it coming? What is aware of it? What is aware of it is already joined as one, in harmony, in light, in love, in consciousness.